Alrighty everyone, welcome back. Today is the day the Dial of Destiny is entering into theaters, and it's going to be quite interesting to see exactly what the box office results are going to look like against the box office projections that have been around for quite a while now, to see exactly what's going to happen with the Dial of Destiny and the current state over at Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into exactly what's going on with George Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy, and others, a part of course, this whole fiasco surrounding the Dial of Destiny. Now, we know one thing about the Dial of Destiny is that a lot of people out there are reporting back to me that their movie theaters locally are very much empty as of today, leading into the weekend. And if any of you guys would like to participate in posting a comment about what your theater experience is like, please do so below. I'll be going through each and every one of them as much as I can. But without further ado, let's get right into exactly what George Lucas has to say, or has to think, I should say, about Indy 5 through Kathleen Kennedy's words. Now, we know that Kathleen Kennedy today talked more about shifting away from George Lucas's vision with Star Wars when focusing on James Mangold's movie and the Rey movie and more. That's really going to embrace these new eras that we've never seen before in the Star Wars franchise. And even all the more than that, it dials back, no pun intended, to the Dial of Destiny now. So let's actually go over what Kathleen Kennedy has to say about everything related to George's view of Indy 5, and let me just say it's not good. So with Indy 5 just about to release to the entire world, Kathy Kennedy and Bob Iger are beginning to worry about the incoming box office results. However, Kennedy recently was able to deliver the following about George Lucas and his view of Indy 5. Kennedy stated the following to everyone. When we were heading into development for the fifth one, we brought this up to George, and we had multiple conversations with him through the entire process between the revisions that we made with Mangold and more. He just felt differently about this film than many of us. He never gave us his blessing on the Indy 5 film, which was unfortunate. It was nice to get that from Steven, but we didn't get that from George, unfortunately. He just remained very distant from all of us and what we were doing while filming. He didn't support our ending that we accepted for the final cut either, so it was tough to work with getting our blessing from Steven or George, and not, of course, George. What can you do? You have to move forward and do your best. Going in, George felt it took multiple viewings to truly understand the core meaning of our film. That was his big complaint, that it lacked true symbolism. Now, guys, let me stop here quick for a second. So what she said there is that it was easy to get Steven's blessing, but not George's blessing. And that just goes to show you how basically she backstabbed Lucas again in the back and made all these promises about not just Star Wars, but also Indiana Jones. And look, I mean, I may not be a big fan of Steven Spielberg, and he's really inconsistent nowadays, especially with what he's talking about with Indy 5. You know, one day it looks like he's throwing Kathleen Kennedy under the bus and kind of humiliating her, and then the other day, or another day, he begins to really heavily defend this film and says how he is not 100% all for the ending, but that he is a true, supporter of this film by James Mangold. But what's really bothering me is the fact that they moved onwards, regardless of George not giving them his blessing. And let me just say, George played a very large role in making Indiana Jones what it is today. It wasn't just all Steven Spielberg, it was George too, that really kickstarted this thing and really made it all possible. So, look, I mean, a lot of people have differing opinions on what the best film of the franchise is. A lot of people tend to say that they think that The Last Crusade is the best one, or Raiders is the best one. Other people say that they love Temple of Doom the best out of all of them because of its different tone. So it's fun looking at all those different opinions, and whatever we're going through with right now at Dial of Destiny, I feel is just an utter disgrace to how Indiana Jones has been getting really handled. Now, we know a lot of people out there that are heavy supporters for Disney are even criticizing this movie, and that too is not a good sign. You know, ever since Cannes Film Festival really unraveled, we've been seeing a lot of Hollywood critics even telling the truth, telling it like it is with the Dial of Destiny and more, and it's not looking good for Lucasfilm, let's be honest. And Kathleen Kennedy is doubling down with Stephen Knight. She's pushing Stephen Knight to say, hey, get this Rey movie out there by 2026, let's make it happen, And they're going to start filming that by April of next year, mind you, that's still set. So that looks like it's happening too. And that's going to be another big, utter disappointment for Star Wars fans, I feel. So, moving to the next thing here, alright, she goes on to elaborate further, and though that may be partially true, because we wanted to embrace a new tone for the final film featuring Harrison Ford, this is not a father and son story, nor is it a story about redemption. It's a story of a broken man trying to pick up his legacy again through his goddaughter, and George didn't really approve of that. But getting Stephen's blessing was enough for us to accept moving onwards with the story. And about the upward negative waves that we are dealing with, we firmly believe those so-called fans are over-exaggerating everything. We still stand by our side that we think we did a better job than the original 3 films, and we cannot wait to show this to the entire world. Again, guys, a lot of you have been reporting to me, thank you so very much, I love you all, about your local movie theaters and what the seats are looking like for today, Saturday, and Sunday. All looking very much empty across the states, even over in portions of the UK, not looking good. And that just goes to show you that this movie is not performing well, even with its pre-sales. Mission Impossible, it is killing it. It is selling like hotcakes. And you know why? Because they marketed it correctly. They see how Tom Cruise goes above and beyond with this film. He's so passionate. He doesn't force agendas down our throats. That's what it's all about. Just make a fun, entertaining movie to really kind of disconnect from reality for 2.5 hours. That's all you need. And that's why Lucasfilm is failing. You know, the only voice that comes to my mind is Yoda, and that is why you fail, you know? So, look, it's sad to see that this is where things are going. I never wish failure upon anybody, but Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, they're asking for it. They are. They were asking for this, and look, who knows what the box office results are going to be like in the long run, and how they're going to compare to the box office projections. We'll have to wait until Monday to really make that true assumption, but we know that Disney is doubling down and working hard to fill in those seats with random people through the Applebee's promotions, stuff like that, and it's very shady stuff, I gotta add. Very, very shady stuff for Disney for such a big franchise. You shouldn't have to go to that, you know, bit of a low to embrace ticket sales. So anyways, I'm very much intrigued to hear what you guys have to say about this. George, Kathy Kennedy, what's going on with the whole Applebee's scenario. What do you guys take from all of this? You know, what's your view? You know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all of that below. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.